Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donahue and Sonia Mansfield talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donahue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. We are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. I'm going to guess today's is a present-day creep because I have no idea what Sonia's going to be talking about, even though she said what it was going to be. It'll be a mystery for some of us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And now your ads will be nothing but these two companies. You're welcome.
You can follow us on Facebook. We have a basic Facebook page, but that's where people go to complain about our language. We use salty language in this program, so if your kids are in the car, throw them out.
Yeah, fucking deal with it.
Drop and roll. You'll be okay. We are much more interactive in our private Facebook group. So you just type in What a Creep podcast group and ask to join. And we literally just talk about pop culture news, creeps and non-creeps and things like that. We're on Twitter for the present moment at CreepPod because somebody had What a Creep on Twitter for over 10 years and never used it.
Creep.
We're at What a Creep Podcast on Instagram, Threads, and we also have a groovy, old-timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you would like some stickers, send us your address, and we will send them to you wherever you are on the planet of Earth.
True story.
True story. Sonia, do you want to tell them about the website?
Yes, you can go to whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you wanted to know about our show, but we're afraid to ask. There are links to all of our past episodes, and in each of those posts are show notes. We source everything we do. You can go in there and do a deeper dive on any of our creeps. We pay for our news. We like to give people credit for they do the dirty work. So please go check that out. There's also a link to our Substack where you could sign up for our monthly newsletter if you like. And there's a link to our merch shop where you could get t-shirts and tote bags and mugs and all kinds of cool stuff. And please do that. And there's a link to our Patreon page. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon, What a Creep Podcast. We have our first 8 seasons on eight seasons on that Patreon page. We also put out 2 bonus episodes a month. And I want to say thank you to Jennifer, Emily, Violet, and Cara for recently joining our Patreon page. Thank you. It helps you put together the costs of the show and the hosting and things like that. We super appreciate it. But we totally understand if money is an issue, if money's tight. If you could just leave us a review wherever you get your podcast, that'd be amazing. Want to thank Good Pods. We've been doing really well there on their list.
Thank you, Good Pods.
And iTunes. And I just learned, by the way, Sonia, on Spotify, they now will allow you to put a Patreon link in Spotify. So if that's where you listen to your podcasts and you get our Patreon link, you can put it in there and you can listen all in one place. So,
oh, nice.
Isn't that nice?
Nice.
Nice. Do you want to tell them about the Substack? Did you already mention that?
I did. You can go to our website and sign up from there, or just type in What a Creep on Substack.com and we'll pop right up where we have our monthly newsletter. So check it out. It's for free.
It's for freezies.
Yes.
All righty. I think that is everything.
I think so.
Sonia, what the hell are we talking about today?
Yeah. Come on, y'all. Let's go shopping. If you scroll through your social media channels and you do any kind of online shopping, then you have probably seen ads or sponsored posts about Shein and Temu. Shein mainly sells fashion and clothes. Temu offers pretty much everything: clothes, appliances, furnitures. You can even get power tools if you want. They're both online retailers. They're both based in China. And they have a few other things in common, too. They are both accused of violating labor laws and stealing designs from other people. Super cool stuff. So, sources for this episode: the Better Business Bureau, BBC, CBS, CNBC, CNN, Elle, Ethically Dressed, Forbes, Good on You, The Guardian. I did a lot of reading, y'all. The Mary Sue, the New York Times,
Oh my
Public
goodness.
Eye, TechCrunch, and Wikipedia. And again, I list all the sources, so I'm not making this shit up, y'all. I will say, though, this story first crossed my paths when I saw some videos on TikTok, but I didn't want to link to like every single TikTok I saw about this. So seriously, just type in TikTok and things will come up. So we're going to start with a little background on this on the companies. So Shein is one of the fastest growing online fast fashion retailers. What that means is shit's super cheap. You want to get like a $2 dress, Shein's got you. It was founded in 2008 by Chris Xu. He was born in the U.S. He is Chinese, but he was born in the U.S. And you think, oh, he's probably like a fashion designer or someone who's just really into clothes. And nope, he's an SEO specialist. So,
of course.
The company sells clothes at a very low price, and I will say a very questionable quality. If the package arrives at all, let's say.
Have you ordered from them, by the way, these places?
Yes, you can order from. No. I have not.
Okay, I was.
I have not, because they seemed a little sketch to me, and turns out I'm kind of right. So, they've sometimes have sold like really offensive shit. They have sold like Islamic prayer rugs to be used as decorative mats. They have sold necklaces that are in the shape of swastikas. They have all kinds of, which they then apologize for and pull from their stores. But the fact that it even gets that far, and they have, and they have shitty working conditions, and we'll get to that in a minute. Last year, the company moved its headquarters from China to Singapore, mainly for financial reasons, but they keep their supply chains and warehouses in China. They now have an Instagram following of about 30 million people, and they earned $24 billion in revenue.
Jesus
last
Christ.
year. Billions. And again, their shit is really cheap. So that's almost as much as like Zara and H&M made last year.
And there's a big problem with cheap fashion and what it does to the planet. Yeah.
Yes. So, and then now we have Temu, which is owned and operated by a Chinese-based and Cayman Islands registered company.
Like the firm.
That's not suspicious. Called PDD Holdings. They also own another company called Pinduoduo, like Dual, something like that. Sorry, everybody. I did my best here. Which is a very popular commerce site in China. They again sell like heavily discounted products straight from manufacturers to buyers. And they recently established their headquarters in Boston, but again, all their warehouses and factories are in China. Sounds legit. Temu has grown crazy fast. So they launched in the United States just this past September. They did a Super Bowl ad in February, and then they launched in Canada in March. They went to Australia, New Zealand, and then the following month it was France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands. They are the second most downloaded app in the Apple Store.
Jesus, I had no idea.
Yeah. So you can check out Temu on the Better Business Bureau website, and it's filled with complaints from customers who have either A, never received their orders, received damaged goods, or mysterious charges started popping up on their credit cards after they started shopping with them. So more and more people are starting to come out and say that their credit cards were hacked after shopping with Temu, which means maybe, allegedly, Temu is selling credit card information. And the theft can look really small, so maybe you don't notice it at first. It could be like $3 or $4 charges that then add up to like hundreds of dollars over like a couple of months. Again, you could go to TikTok or Instagram and search these things, and there's tons of videos of people complaining about this stuff. And then the people who usually aren't complaining are social media influencers who are promoting discount codes. So keep that in mind, y'all. again, not every order, but more than should be okay. So both of these companies are currently let me say that both of them have been accused of violating labor laws. So just this past June, a House Select Committee actually released a report saying that Temu was shipping products made with forced labor. They've also said the same thing about Shein.
Forced labor?
Forced labor.
Jesus.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. So by cutting down on workers' wages, and they use like cheap, bad quality material, this is how they offer those crazy low prices. It's one of the reasons they're super successful. So good on you, which I linked to in the show notes. They are a sustainable, ethical fashion brand like site. They track this sort of thing. And they said that for Shein, the supply chain, nothing is certified by like labor standards, no like insurances for the workers' health and safety, or living wages or other labor rights. There's no evidence that like they're paying a living wage to the people that are supplying to these factories. And there's no evidence that they take any kind of meaningful action to reduce or eliminate hazardous chemicals around its workers. At one point, people were getting, this was again all over social media, people were getting like packages from Shein, and there were like notes in the packages that were asking people to like help them, like to share these things with media to get the word out that the working conditions are so shitty. There's a documentary called Untold Inside the Shein Machine, and it revealed that the average worker makes $879 a year. A year.
Oh, what century are we in?
Yeah, they work 18 hours a day, and they get penalized like 2/3 of their wages if they make a mistake on a garment.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty fucked up, y'all. On top of that, like they're working like 6 days a week. The documentary also noted that some of the workers are like going out and like washing their hair like in between, like on their lunch breaks, because of all the toxic chemicals that are in the plant, in the factory, to like get it out of their hair. And like it's awful. Another group called Public Eye, again linked in the show notes, they are based in Switzerland. They visited 17 factories in 6 cities in China, and they also confirmed the long hours, the 6-day work weeks, no overtime. These people are not paid overtime. And this is going to be very upsetting because we did an episode on this very thing. They didn't see a single emergency exit for people.
Oh, for God's
so they're
sakes.
packed in there and they're working. And if something's to go wrong, like a fire, there's no way for them to get out of there quickly.
We talked about the triangle shirtwaist fire in a past episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, y'all. As for and then the accusations of forced labor. So in China, there's a region called Xinjiang. I'm trying really hard, y'all. I looked up all of these pronunciations. It's a region of China, and currently the Chinese Communist Party is like, they're committing genocide against these like Uyghur people in this area. And they are forcing them to work in the cotton fields in this area. And that cotton is being used in the Shein and Temu clothing.
Oh, no.
So they're guilty of this. This is a thing that is happening. The United States has tried to stop like the shipment of these kinds of products in here. And they passed an act called the like Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act that went into effect June 2022. And it bans anything made from cotton from that area. And anyone who imports into the United States has to prove that they didn't buy stuff from here. And U.S. Customs and Border Protection are enforcing this law. But Shein and Temu are getting around this by shipping things in like smaller packaging. They're doing it in shipments of $800 or less. So they are not getting inspected by these things because they are not over the limit. It's pretty sinister, y'all. It's like they're doing this on purpose to get out of inspections. So, and they're sending hundreds of thousands of packages, but they're all under the limit so that they don't have to be inspected and they don't have to like confirm that these rules, they don't have to follow these rules.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's really,
that's dark. Yeah.
yeah, it's not worth it, y'all.
Yeah.
So this one is mainly about Shein here, but Shein actually, it's not uncommon for clothing brands to take inspiration from luxury brands. Like, you know, if you see something walking on a runway, like a lot of brands will make like a cheap knockoff version, you know, but they change it up a little bit, you know. Shein doesn't even fucking change shit. They fully like plagiarize and copy designs. They don't change anything, but they don't steal from big name brands. They scour the internet and they take it from like small brands, independent designers and artists. And they
People
take
who
that
don't
design.
have a big legal team.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So, and they do it with art and they do it with jewelry. And here's a few of the people. So Tina Menzel, her art has been stolen by Shein 6 times in the last year. Again, it's all linked in the show notes so you can see it. The designs are exactly the same. Exactly. There's another company, a jewelry brand. They've had 50 designs stolen. That company is called Kira Fuchi. There's Elora Pautrat. Her art has been stolen 10 times. She sells things like prints and canvases and tapestries, home decor, stuff like that. Again, 10 times exact replicas of her stuff. Bailey Prado has had 45 designs stolen by Shein. And some of these get traction, right? They post stuff on social media. The news gets a hold of it. And then Shein's like, oops, our bad, and like takes stuff down. But a lot of designers don't have that opportunity.
They don't know who to call. They don't know who to pitch. They don't know like which reporter to go to or.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just trying to make a living.
Yes, exactly. And I read one story about Shein literally has a dress with a woman's fucking face on it. Her face. Like, she has blue hair and these like red glasses and lips and like the red lipstick or whatever. And like, she has a very distinctive look and she is followed all over social media and they made a dress with her fucking face on it.
I can't even.
It is bonkers. So Shein has actually been hit with like the RICO Act, which if you're following our disgraced former president Donald Trump, he has also been hit with the RICO Act recently. It's so hot right now.
And so Giuliani, right? Giuliani as well. Yes.
So Shein's been hit with this act. They are being sued by some independent designers have actually come together to sue Shein. So that happened just in July. So that is still going to happen. Like that court case is going forward. Both of these companies, Shein and Temu, have been selling fake Air Jordans. Dude, you don't want to fuck with Nike. Nike's going to come for you. And Temu has also been like cloning independent designers like Amazon storefronts. So they have been accused of stealing and copyright infringement. So it's really fucked up. Like, just be careful where you're spending your money, y'all.
Right.
There's also some security risks. again, the thing with Shein and Temu and people's credit cards. There's also some concerns that there's malware in their apps and that they're taking people's data. Just be careful. This is the same thing they're saying about TikTok. So just be careful of what apps you're downloading. Just because it's in the Apple Store doesn't mean that it's legit. It's legit. So the reason I put these two companies together, because I had read a story about how they're currently suing each other.
Ooh.
So Shein is suing Temu, and Temu's like, fuck you, and filed their suit too. And I'm kind of the mind of, fuck it, let them fight. So last summer, Shein filed a lawsuit against Temu, and they alleged trademark and copyright infringement. And then Temu's like, fuck you. They filed one saying that unfair and unlawful competitive practices. So Temu is claiming that Shein is requiring all their manufacturers and supply chains to not deal with Temu, and this is seriously impacting Temu's production because they can't get their supplies to make their cheap ass shit. So they are both they're both bad mouthing each other on social. They're both paying influencers to talk shit about the other on social media. I think it's hilarious that both these companies are suing each other for the things that they have been accused of doing to other people for years. Both of these lawsuits are going to be in full swing this fall, basically. So I'll be very curious how it plays out. But I wanted to do this because I want our people to be careful where you're shopping. Dude, just a tiny, and I'm super guilty of this, by the way.
We all are.
I have legit ordered things and not really thought about where I was buying from. And I'm like, oh shit. I thought I was going to get something right away, and it never shows up, or it shows up 6 months later and it's super janky. Or just be careful where you're shopping. Do a little research. Even go to the Better Business Bureau website if you're not sure, and type it in, because they each have their complaints there. There's a bunch of, again, stolen credit card information, damaged packages, not the packages damaged, the product inside the packages damaged. A woman has talked about how she bought fake eyelashes from one of these companies and it infected her eyes.
Oh, no.
Because there's all kinds of stuff here. So it's just, there is this idea of you get what you pay for, and it's it's very low quality. And I understand fashion is very, what's hot 1 second, it's not, so you don't maybe want to spend a lot of money on stuff because it's going to be uncool, 2 months from now or something. But I think it's still important to support businesses who are doing the right thing if you can. So just be wary. That's why I picked these two.
Right.
So these are our creeps, Shein and Temu.
Good job, Sonia.
Thank you.
It's also, part of the fast fashion is it creates this landfill issue that's just beyond. So there's people and my mother was guilty of this. She would buy one thing, she would buy 10 of it, 10 of the shirts, and she'd get them in every single color. And she had so many things that we obviously donated her stuff to the Goodwill. And then if you ever go to a Goodwill, they're just stacked to the ceiling. I mean, we just have so much. And especially when it's this cheap fabric that's flammable, toxic even. It's not. Yeah, they tell this all the time on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. That's Tan's big thing is talking about that. But the human rights issues, for fuck's sakes. I mean, oh my god.
The working. We don't want to support this. There was a huge movement in mainly the 90s, I want to say, about sweatshops, and we don't want to support
Gifford.
Yes, we don't want to support companies that are doing this sort of thing. And these companies are doing this sort of thing. So you shouldn't support. It's hard, by the way. I see cute stuff. Temu feeds me all kinds of cute stuff. And I was like, that's cute. And then I see it's Temu and I'm like, ew. Like, and what you can do is sometimes you can do like a reverse Google search and see where they stole it from and then buy it from the people that actually created it. That's one little trick you could do, because I've seen some really cute things that I'm like, but I don't want to support it. And that's my choice. Again, like, you do you, but that's what I'm doing, like, to prevent this sort of thing. And also, like, again, the chemicals and the toxins that are in the air and these plants are not safe for people, and it's not safe for, we're talking about clothes, you're putting that shit on your skin.
Yeah.
Like, it's not healthy. Like, just be careful.
Yeah.
Just be careful, y'all.
Well, also the cheap makeups and the cheap lotions and cosmetics.
You're putting that shit on your skin, and your skin is absorbing it. You're putting it on your lips, or that poor woman who put the eyelashes on her eyes. It's like, it's really scary. Like, you don't want to fuck with that shit. So just, again, be careful. Be careful with your credit cards.
Yeah, that's especially important. Do you remember? I remember being actually afraid to order things online. There was like a time when I was super like, is this safe? Is somebody going to steal this from me? And like, I do it without even a thought now.
Yeah. And I'm, again, super guilty of this. I see things online. It's like, I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Like, right. I just, I fucking buy it. But I'm trying to be careful about who I'm supporting with my money. This is the thing, again, not perfect, I'm not perfect, but I try. And these are two of those companies that I'm like, they're red flag companies. I'm going to get out my red flag right here. Like, I'm waving my red flag.
She has a red flag that she's waving.
Yeah. I sometimes take it out at work and wave it in front of people. Because these are red flag companies.
Well, speaking of red flags.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to pivot in that normally this is how we do the show. One of us has a creep and the other one comes up with a non-creep. Today, and I know a lot of you gave me suggestions in the Facebook group, and we totally appreciate it.
Yes.
And they're saved there. I'm going to go back to it. But this past week in our country, in Hawaii, which is the 50th state or the 49th or 50th state of our union, but it's hours away from the West Coast. It's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And these people had a wildfire that happened last week. And right now there's over 100 people confirmed dead. There's going to be way more than that. I've only been to Hawaii once, and I was in Maui. Sonia's been there a few times. I think your mom's from there, or her family's from there.
Yeah, my grandmother grew up in Maui. We were just in that area last summer on a family trip where we went and visited like the house where my grandmother grew up, and Calvin and I, my son and I, took the bus all around and went down to that like main, I think it's called Front Street. Mm-hmm. It's all gone. Yeah, it's gone. All the like the restaurants and the shops and everywhere, like it's gone. It's absolutely devastating.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And we, our hearts go out to people. And we were just talking about with climate change and where places are climately challenged, let's say, if there are a lot of hurricanes or earthquakes or whatever, it's tougher to rebuild in that spot. Who gets rebuilt, who doesn't? Most of the people were middle-class people, working people. They worked in the travel industry, they were in the hospitality industry, or they worked at the local stores. These people's homes are gone. And they had very little time to prepare. The person that was in charge of putting out the signal, there was a sound of a horn that's supposed to siren, that's supposed to go off. And that was actually more for tsunamis than it would be for a fire. But it wasn't turned off. Yeah. And there's going to be, that person was resigned. They're working that out. Look, this has been less than a week. So they're still sorting things out. But if you want to help out, We have some ideas. So I want to refer to the Washington Post and then the Honolulu Star-Telegram. And these are just some ways to, and once again, this is your money. You do what you want. One thing before I forget, you and I were talking about this over text over the week. Some companies that you work for will match your donations for 501c3s, for any of these nonprofits. So look into that for sure. The Office of the Governor of Hawaii, and those links will be in the show notes. There's the Hawaii Community Foundation. There is the Maui United Way. There are verified fundraisers on GoFundMe. I have been trying to get an interview with Yvonne Elliman, who sang the song "If I Can't Have You." She's from Hawaii. Her son and his family lost their home recently, so she set up a GoFundMe for him. I want to talk about the American Red Cross, which may be something we talk about on the show one day. It's pretty controversial. If it's something you support, they're definitely taking money. There's the Maui Relief Fund. There's the Salvation Army. Well, let's not talk about that one because we talked about them. But the Maui Food Bank.
Yes.
Also, links are in the show notes. The Maui Humane Society to help injured and displaced animals. There are lots of missing pets. That are missing pets that are missing their owners, and owners that are missing their pets.
Yes.
I put the Pacific Whale Foundation. It's using their vessels to transport relief supplies to the Malay Harbor. I don't know how to say things. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not a colonizer. But I'm a white person that doesn't know some things. Let me look over at the Honolulu, and this is a great, the Star-Advertiser.com. They're on top of all the latest news, especially if you're worried about people there. The Emergency Management Association, the number is 808-733-4300. There's the Hawaii Bankers Association that's looking for donations to help local businesses and organizations. There's the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. Look, they have a donation campaign. The local food lands there. They'll take up to $249 at the checkout counter if you want to make donations. Mm-hmm. There's a Hawaii Credit Union that's going out supporting with donations to people up to $10,000. There's the UH Foundation to help students and faculty who went to school there, there's a university. There's a big university there. The Buddhist Chi Shu Foundation, or Shu Chi. There you have some donations. Once again, they have I'll put the link in the show notes. Aloha United Way. There's the Catholic Charities Hawaii. There's all kinds of these charities that you can, once again, you can use if you want to help these people and how you use your dollars. And our thoughts are with everybody. This is... it makes you feel helpless sometimes. Yeah. So I mean, for me, I like to go on GoFundMe and I'll look for somebody that I kind of, people you vibe with. And even if you only have like $25, and you could spread it to a few different people. I mean, it all adds up.
Yeah. And if you don't have the money, like it could be just as helpful to just share it.
Yeah.
Just share it.
Right.
Help spread the word, on GoFundMe. Just, be careful. There are people that go out there and take advantage. So make sure you're donating to like a verified, GoFundMe and not someone who's trying to. Some people are fucking gross, man.
Yeah.
They're gross. But it's absolutely, it's so sad because it is like an insanely popular tourist destination. And so all these businesses are going to be severely impacted because they can't do their job. Basically, they like 80% of their like economy is tourism, and people can't go. But also you shouldn't go because they don't have the stuff to take care of you.
The air is not in great condition. Yeah. The waters are not in great condition. They need the hotel rooms for volunteers, for people who are displaced from their homes.
Yes.
We were saying off the air, we were talking about real estate and why are homes so expensive. And my big fear on Hawaii is billionaires coming through and being like, I think I want all of this just for me. And that's not okay. This is a place. It's a place for a lot of people. There's such a beautiful people, and it's such a beautiful place, and the wildlife that's there.
Yes.
I mean, the ecosystem that's there that's threatened by like things like this. I mean, just
Yes.
keep them in your thoughts. And if you can help in any way, or like Sonia said, if it's sharing on social media, do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, not to bum everybody out, let's just say this. If you like the sound of our voices, and by golly, why wouldn't you?
Right? We're a delight.
We're a goddamn delight. We co-host a show called Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. What was the last movie we dorked out about, Sonia?
We did do Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's
and
Big
then
Adventure.
We did Mermaids.
Mermaids.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So we just
Yes.
covered Mermaids. That's in our most recent episode. And then this weekend, we are talking about The Blues Brothers.
Oh, it's going to be so fun, y'all. This is a fun one.
It'll be a super fun one. So definitely check that out. If you have ideas for creeps and for non-creeps, all those places I mentioned at the top of the show, be sure to reach out to us. We love it when you use the Andy Potts gift. We got one from Ghostbusters. Our email, once again, is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like some stickers, send us your address wherever you are in the world. We will send them out to you. Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all the places. Where can people find you, Margot?
You can find me on Twitter at Brooklyn Margot. You can find me on Threads for Brooklyn Fit Chick, Instagram Brooklyn Fit Chick. My site is Brooklyn Fit Chick, and in my name, Margot Donahue, you can find me on TikTok. All right, everybody, stay safe, be cool, be kind. Don't be a creep.
Be a creep. Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.